What is going on, guys? 821 Mayo here. With the new season North Star being released, there are going to be a lot of big changes coming in the near future of Rainbow Six Siege. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys and breaking down everything you need to know. I just want to take a moment to thank Ubisoft for allowing me to test the new server out early in private play. Also, make sure you guys watch until the end of the video for some of the biggest game-changing things to happen, like droning after death and new nerfs to Melusi and Maestro. I also want to note that anything you see in today's video is subject to change later down the line. Firstly, let's talk about the changes to the UI. There will now be a different look to the operator selection screen and the scoreboard. Now, these changes aren't game-changing, but what is a pretty cool change is the tracking of the rounds when you pull up the scoreboard. I assume this will help with teams keeping track of the rounds and how they were won, even though I feel as if the graphic is a little hard to follow. You will now be able to interact with grabbing the diffuser instead of walking over it and auto-picking it up. This way you have the choice to grab it or not, so you don't have to run a weird path around it, avoiding picking it up. Now, this next change coming is something that I really didn't see a reason for, but is still a nice addition to the game. You will now have a dedicated area on screen that will show up how many drones you and your teammates shot on defense. And then once the prep phase is over, the number and badge will disappear from your screen. Again, I don't really agree with this, as in higher elo and in every pro or semi-pro game, people will count how many drones they shoot and then communicate that with the team. For the ranked and casual modes, I would be okay with this being added, but for any pro play, I feel as this should be an option to turn off and on in custom game settings. I'm sure a lot of you will be happy with what I'm about to say with this next change. Bullet holes will now be completely filled in, giving you no vision through them. So this means no more bullet holes on any walls, but you can still do them on barricades. The health system will also be seeing a change. So now your armor levels will be displayed in your overall health. So if you're a 3 armor like Doc, you will start with a base health of 125 points. If you're a 2 armor, you will start off with a base health of 110, and a 1 armor starts out at 100. From my understanding, this doesn't really mean anything, since this was already in the back end of the game, it was just never displayed to us. I'm sure we have all been there a time or two when we throw a nitro cell or place an ADS too close to an electrified reinforcement, and zap, our utility is gone. Well, after some testing, you may not have to worry about that anymore. All defender utility could soon become completely immune to all electrified surfaces in the game. I have mixed feelings about this change. Firstly, because it makes our lives easier as defenders, but also it makes you more able to just throw down utility instead of being forced to think a little bit more. I'm sure this change is great for very specific spots in the game, but overall I'm leaning on the side of not really wanting this change to be added. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Another cool change that I like seeing added to the game is the changes coming to your death screen when you die. So when you get smoked by an 11-year-old, it looks way cooler now. The transition between you and the player who smoked your ass is a little more mainstream. And then after you watch yourself get fried, you will then be put into the drones where you will have the ability to drone after death. I feel bad being the bearer of bad news on this next change, but Ash is getting another nerf. Unofficially, at least from my testing, Ash's recoil seems a little too familiar to what Ubi did to Jaeger not too long ago in his recoil. Keep in mind, this is just from me, an unofficial source who is just saying this may or may not happen. But with Ash's pick rate and the recoil change feeling very similar to Jaeger's, I have a hunch that Ash's recoil is getting nerfed as well. One of the biggest and game-changing things to come to the game soon enough is the ability to drone after death. So far from my playtesting, as an attacker, you will drop all of your drones you had on person when you die. As for defense, any defender can control cameras like Maestros and move them. I'm not too sure about Mozzie though. I never got to test that. Personally, I'm not too sure how I feel about this change quite yet. There were some situations where I was in a 1vx situation on defense, and the fact that the attackers could still drone me was a little annoying and unfair. I'm sure when the change goes through, it's going to mix up a lot of how the game is played. This next change is something that I'm sure everyone will be happy with. There will no longer be any client-side bodies in the game. Now, instead, after someone dies, their body will stay there for a short time and then despawn, leaving behind a very faint and sort of neon-hued logo of the operator. I'm super happy that this change is finally being brought to the game, and this will benefit everyone from the casual community all the way up to Pro League. I now want to talk about some of the changes to operators and their utility coming to Rainbow Six Siege soon. Smoke canisters will now have a new propagation system, and it will be nearly impossible to abuse the mechanic of smoking things through walls now. This new smoke canister will also bring a new look, making it much easier to see through for both people who may ever take a gunfight through it. Melusi will also be seeing a change sometime soon, as her banshees will now open up when an attacker is in the proximity of them, and they will have the ability to shoot them once open. Although I really like this change, I feel as if they should make the animation of the banshee a little slower, allowing it to be active a little longer, or make the attacker shoot multiple bullets in order to destroy it. I feel as if 1 to 2 bullets is not enough, especially when the banshee is placed poorly. Another big change coming to operators like Maestro and Mira is the interaction with their gadgets and the glass on them. Attackers will now have the option to walk up to this utility and have the ability to melee the glass and shatter it, taking away all vision through Mira's or Maestro cams. Same goes for bulletproof cameras. A small but notable change coming is the tweaking of barrel attachments. Flash hider and muzzle brake will serve different purposes now. I can't really remember much about what they said exactly, but they are definitely getting changed. If you guys want an attachment guide for North Star, let's see if we can get this video to 3K likes. Now, for the real meat and potatoes, the new operator and the new reworked map, Favela. I won't go into the match much because, to be honest, I'm not really that interested in a casual rework. But with Favela and the time I have played on it, I had a good time, it was fun, had a much better flow and rotation ability than the old version. And thank God they removed almost every single soft panel wall leading to the outside. I encourage you to go and test it and play for yourself, but personally, it's not my cup of tea. The best for last, the new operator Thunderbird. Thunderbird is a 1-armor 3-speed defender who looks as if she's the descendant of Thanos with her lined sack shin. Bird Lady is equipped with the Spear 308 rifle and the Spaz 15 shotgun. As for her secondaries, you have the choice between Legion's pistol, the Q929, or the Bearing 9. Finishing off her kit, her secondary utility is the toss-up between the Nitro Cell or Impact grenades. As for the daughter of Thanos, she has 3 K-Kona Station Lifeline Roombas that shoot paintball healing pods at any operator in the area. Yes, you heard me, any operator. These overqualified projectors will heal you for 30 health per shot, and then it goes into a cooldown after the shot is given. So basically think of these stations as an automatic dock stim, but for anyone. Another cool feature that comes with this primary piece of utility is that any downed operator can crawl into the proximity of a station and a prompt will show up, allowing them to revive themselves with the shot. Now, it's important to note that once you are overhealed, you will not keep getting shots automatically. Also, if there are 2 operators in the proximity of a station, it will automatically heal whoever is the lowest HP amount between the 2. Overall, I think she's a pretty cool defender, and I think she's going to change a lot, especially on defense. If you guys want an operator guide on this, let me know down in the comments, and also leave a like for that guide as well. That is going to be the end of the most significant changes coming soon to Rainbow Six Siege. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, special thanks to Ubisoft again for inviting me out to test the new season, North Star. Before I go, I want to mention that there's links to my coaching down below. All of the info you need can be found there on my Patreon, and yes, I do coach console players. There's also links to all of my social media, as well as a link to the Wichita Wolves, which I am a content creator for, so make sure you guys go check those links out as well. But with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and I will see you guys in the next video.